Hi and welcome to Best Houses Australia. Join us as we take you through some of the freshest and most inspiring designs this nation has to offer. So come with us inside Best Houses Australia. First up, we've got a beautiful extension right here in Glen Waverley by 3G Homes.
The Gothic look of the master bedroom. The moment we walk in, we know that this is an element that we need to maintain.
Next, Gary takes us through this WA home inspired by the past but with a modern twist.
And they had a real passion for that mid-century modern style. They'd done a lot of research, they had a lot of pieces that they already owned.
We explore this Queenslander in Townsville that's been renovated into a beautiful abode.
As far as we know, this house here, and there's one across the road that's probably one of the original houses of West End in Townsville. Yeah.
And at the climax of today's show, we head to Narrabeen with a design that brings the outside in. You are not going to want to miss this. And to start off the show, we have got a beautiful renovation in Glen Waverley by 3G Homes. What are we having a look at today?
Today we have this classic home that we have vertical extension on.
Yep.
Let me show you.
Please. So Stephen, this is a 3G home build. Can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yes, 3G Homes, we are boutique builder. We have our own interior designer and architect. And obviously our approach is very individual.
Yeah.
So basically, for every single project, we will look at the existing house or the existing sites. We'll try to see whether there's value in the existing architectural style. If there is, we will have this approach, try to maintain the existing character of the building and build on top of it.
And in this case, we're in Glen Waverley here.
Yes.
You've decided to add on to the existing home, is that right?
Yes, yes. I mean, you can walk through the house. Obviously, you can see there's quite a few very significant elements of this house. Obviously, the courtyard, I think, is very nice layout.
Yeah.
With all the spaces pretty much connected to the center of this masterpiece.
Yeah.
The Gothic look of the master bedroom as well. The moment we walk in, we know that this is an element that we need to maintain. Obviously, bringing in the classical Gothic look, and by introducing a little bit of contemporary and modern design to that, the result is definitely fantastic.
Yeah, it is a fantastic result.
Yep.
So you had a few things that you could play with. You've got this central courtyard that's pretty
Yep.
awesome to
Yep.
have in the middle of the home.
Yes.
And then that master bedroom that's kind of like a retreat on the
Yes.
end of the home, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So it's pretty much like coming back to a house that you're holidaying every day.
Yeah.
You know, and walking through from the public area, which we think that is nice to receive guests, and slowly transitions into a semi-public and private, where you have gallery area, pretty much like the corridor, and connected well and nicely to the outdoor,
Yep.
and way back into the private areas of the master bedroom, and on the upstairs vertical extension where all the kids' room are.
And I like it as well how you've brought so much light into the home. Now, are these
Yeah.
windows responsible for that?
Well, yeah, in particular for these windows, we want to maintain the timber look of the house. You can probably notice that there are 5 elements of timber or wooden looks in this particular house.
Yeah.
I think it's a standout character for the house itself. We like the timber look of all the windows, but obviously we have to go for a product that is very durable and low maintenance. And the Thermatec UPVC windows fit all the purpose.
So I can imagine with an existing home and building on top of it, there'd be a few challenges involved.
One thing nice and good is all about the existing classical roof.
Yes.
And in this case, we try to bring in a new terracotta tiles, supplied by Bristol Roofing, which actually able to blend in the look and allow that transitions of the old elements that flow very well with the new elements of the roof.
Fantastic. Now, I
Yeah.
couldn't go past that beautiful marble stone bench that you've got in the kitchen.
Yes, the owner that like to cook, obviously they have concern about spilling, and the maintenance of that marble look benchtop.
Yeah.
And YDL Aquamarine product is actually a fantastic choice for that.
Another thing I love about this room, master bedroom, because it's way at the back of the house and I've got all the space to myself when I retire back to my own space. Always in my mind that I want to build my own dream house. So I suppose since my husband's allowed me to, go on ahead and renovate the house, I'll grab all the chances I've got and say, okay, let's go ahead and build the house that I dream of. 3G helps me with building my dream home. I'm very happy that they are along with me all the way.
So how long did this take to do? What was the process involved, and how long time-wise are we talking?
It took us about 10 months to get the project completed, obviously, and we have finished pretty much in the first quarter of this year.
It's gorgeous. You've done a great job. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you, Bessie.
After the break, we are taken through this delightful residence in WA that takes you back to the 50s. And at the climax of today's show, Dean takes us through this spacious Narrabeen home that gathers inspiration from the outdoors. Gary is in Claremont, WA, in this modern home that's inspired by the 50s.
You know, we've been filming Oswald homes now for years, so 3 years, and I hadn't seen this before I arrived. And I just pulled up and I go, oh my goodness, this is it's so typical of Oswald to not know what you're going to get. We did a French provincial last time.
We did.
We've done Georgian, and now we're doing a really ultra-modern, mid-century modern house.
Thank you. Well, compared to a lot of other builders in our space, they're known for a certain type of architecture or a certain type of language. The great thing about Oswald Homes is we're not pigeonholed by a type of architecture or a type of language.
Well, I don't know what to expect.
Well, it all depends upon the client. So whatever the client does...
What's the story here? So this is a display home, or it's a client house?
It's a client house. The client we'd been working with for a while, and they had a real passion for that mid-century modern style. They'd done a lot of research. They had a lot of pieces that they already owned. So we worked collaboratively.
Wow, so this is kind of like the real deal.
Yeah. So you've got some pieces straight out of the 1950s, 1960s.
Oh my goodness.
So as well as modern day replicas or reinterpretations. And then I guess that's what this house is. It resembles a lot of the true architecture of the time, but it's a modern day interpretation with some of the bells and whistles that you get in homes these days as well.
Now, Danielle, she's the interior designer.
She is indeed. We work together from the very beginning. We look at the space. I look at it from the passive solar design and the architecture and geometry, but we work well together at the same time to see how we can get some of those authentic features into the home.
I think it started sort of with Neutra and his Kaufman house, and just bringing in the lovely elements of all the stonework, the very simple roof lines, and I guess also I'm a bit of a green thumb, so I like all my plants, all my agaves and dracaenas, and I guess that was in my mind from the start as to how this house would look, a very subtle colour palette. It allows the sort of decorative elements like the lighting and plants to play a part inside the home, and so it actually creates a very relaxed palette and a really relaxed place to be.
It's a passive solar home. It's bringing the outdoors indoors, which was prevalent in the style at the time. Turns its back on the street, and it really just is a nice secluded private place.
I mean, the garage you've set up as a little man's den, I guess, which is kind of got that industrial kind of funky.
It's sort of like a rumpus room, like a Brady Bunch rumpus room. So that's where he's going to keep his motorbikes, chill out. They also do a lot of entertaining, so they can open up that garage door and actually look through between the spaces.
Well, that could be a party room.
Yep, and that's what it's duality of space, and that's what we've tried to do. It's a multi-generational home. They got a couple of young kids at the moment, but they're looking at what the home could become in the future and how you can flow between spaces. It's truly an entertainer's house. It's got a great kitchen, very functional, but also the scullery is a secondary area to...
Well, you can turn it into a bar.
Prepare, cook, do anything. And while people are out there cooking on the outdoor kitchen, you can actually talk to each other from the scullery area as well. Whilst this was a custom home that we created specifically for this block, what we've also tried to do is make this home or this feeling more accessible for people. So we've actually come up with a few different designs, a bit smaller, different configurations. But the same principle and architecture and look of the home is being rolled into these smaller homes as well.
That's awesome. So it's open for the public?
It is indeed.
Until when?
It's open up till Christmas this year.
That's great.
And for details, you're probably best going to our website.
You've been awesome, and you always surprise me.
Thank you very
Keep it
much,
up.
Gary.
Thanks, mate.
Nice seeing you.
Hi, Daniel Matsei from Matsei Homes, your local construction expert. Today we're going to talk about finding the right builder. There's three things that are important when looking for a new builder. One, ensure that your builder is reputable. Speak to family and friends, speak to your neighbours, find home buyers that have actually had great experiences with builders. Number two is speak to the industry experts, speak to your Master Builders Association, speak to your HIA and any local industry leaders to find out what builders they recommend, because it's important to know that the builder that you choose is backed by the industry's best. And number three, ensure that the builder knows your vision, is transparent, is honest from the beginning, and tells you all the pitfalls that you're going to find while building your home. It is a legacy that you will leave building your home, so ensure that you get the right builder that's going to do the right job for you.
After the break, Josh takes us through this beautiful renovated Queenslander, and at the climax of today's show, Dean takes us through this spacious Narrabeen home that gathers inspiration from the outdoors. Josh is in West End in an inner city suburb of Townsville to explore this renovated Queenslander. It's got a fresh modern design with a vintage twist.
Tell me about this stunning home.
Well, we live in West End. It's an inner city suburb. My husband and I renovated 12 months ago. It was a beautiful old rundown Queenslander. It was high set, so we've done everything to it. We've raised it, we've pushed it back, we've moved it sideways and completely refurbished the inside.
It was a pre-World War I home. We don't know exactly what date it was. I would say early 1900s, mainly because of the electrical wiring is in it. We know that was basically stopped getting used at the start of the war. As far as we know, I think this house here, and there's one across the road that's probably one of the original houses of West End in Townsville. Lucy and I pretty much had the concept right from the start. We both knew we wanted a two-storey home, all the living downstairs, sleeping upstairs, and then we went to Ben for Metch Building Design, and he tied it all in to make it work.
Tell me about your favourite feature of the house.
I like how downstairs is so different to upstairs. I like that downstairs is, I guess, a modern version of a Queenslander home, and how upstairs is a bit more respectful to the style of a Queenslander home. But you have to marry the two, otherwise I think it'd feel weird, almost like being in two different houses. So we've brought building techniques from upstairs to downstairs and vice versa.
I love that you come downstairs and you feel you're in this brand new, modern, wonderful home with, of course, the vintage pieces. And then you walk upstairs, it opens up into this beautiful old home, this old Queenslander, which you've stayed true to its character, mind you.
What we love to do best is to modernise a Queenslander. We tend to like to stay true and respectful to the home on the exterior, and then just do things that you wouldn't expect on the interior.
Who did the interior design?
Local firm in Townsville, their name's Ethos Interiors, the two Annas. We use them from the start, from the construction right through to the soft furnishings.
Even though it's a traditional home on the outside, you've still got the mod cons inside. And even though there's a big difference between upstairs and downstairs, it's still somehow kind of, it works. When right from the start, people are saying, "Well, wow, you're going polished concrete, square set ceilings," but then it's still sort of balanced out with, the shaker profile kitchen, which is pretty much an old farm style sort of kitchen. So everything sort of seems to work. And then when you're going up the stairs, you've got that transition of the Tassie oak stairs. They're nice and light, which is still traditional in the timber, so it sort of flows in once you get to the old hoop pine floors upstairs.
What kind of homes does Cato Homes do?
Cato is a custom residential builder, which means new homes, renovations, extensions, and he does do some commercial work. I think custom building means doing projects that require attention to detail or individual detail.
You obviously want a builder with a fair bit of experience, especially in custom homes or especially timber homes and Queenslanders. It's not your everyday slab on ground brick block home. There's a lot of unforeseens that can come throughout the job, but with the experience we have, I mean, I started my apprenticeship with Queenslanders in Ashgrove and Red Hill and Brisbane, years ago. So I've been working on them since I've ever started as a carpenter. And to me, there's very, very rarely now do I find a surprise in a old house. You sort of know what to expect. That's one of the things that we always really market ourselves on is when we're doing a renovation, and there are no variations in prices and things for unforeseens and things like that, because I'm always very confident we know what the unforeseens are going to be.
After the break, Dean takes us through this spacious Narrabeen home that gathers inspiration from the outdoors. You are not going to want to miss this. Dean takes us through this spacious Narrabeen home that gathers inspiration from the outdoors.
Elsa, I love your house, it's beautiful. Talk to me about the use of timber. Like everywhere I go, you've managed to, what feels like to me, bring the outside into the house, so especially in these areas downstairs.
It's an American oak, but it doesn't have that full whitewash through it, and that's what we wanted. We kind of wanted an in-betweener, and we like the wide boards as well. So I guess we definitely wanted to bring the outside in, and we wanted to make sure that the timber worked with the furnishings inside.
I was doing a bit of Googling before I came today, and I saw the existing house, which was, we're in what is an amazing location in Narrabeen. We've got the lagoon just on our 200 metres away down there, and we've got the beach 200 metres behind us. So sort of trying to make this space work for both of those areas, I suppose. You've done that really well. Is there any particular reason why you chose to demolish versus renovating what you had here? Like you've done it amazingly well. I guess I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, look, 100%. We lived in the house for a little while we were trying to decide what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And, we spoke to a few people about renovating, and we just worked out that, I guess, in terms of cost and what you get, the quality for your money, like all new plumbing, all new electricity, and basically a brand spanking new home. It was just worth it to do the knockdown and rebuild, But I guess that's one of the wonderful things about GJ Gardner, was that they were able to incorporate, I guess, everything that we wanted in this new home, and it not just be off, a standard plan. So we basically built the home that we wanted.
We have hundreds of plans that can be used for reference, but given the nature of the market, we've never built to plan within the Northern Beaches, but at least it gives the clients the chance to custom design their dream home with some nice reference points. This particular house started off as a twin waters design, however it doesn't resemble it internally or externally. Each of the plans available have different facades. This one we custom made to be a Hampton style house to suit the beachside living that they wanted to incorporate. Probably one of the biggest benefits is our design centre, which is in Brookvale. It is our office, but we also have these tailor-made sections where you can come and see the fixtures and fittings, feel the finishing of the floorboards or the kitchen, and really see what we are able to do. It's nice because you can imagine that little space in your own home.
Your kitchen's beautiful. It's very open plan. The way you've sort of managed to tie in the preparation area into your meals area. Everyone's sort of going to be involved from day one.
We definitely love that nice flow, and that was something that was really important to us.
And you've squeezed a butler's pantry in there as well.
And we have, and
That's
which is
amazing.
excellent, because I think it just, you can hide everything away.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with a young family. That's great. And the colour palette that you've used, it sort of maintains itself throughout the whole house. I guess one thing that I noticed, it's a very Hampton style feel, but you've sort of Australianised it in a lot of senses. You've got colour bond, you've got weatherboards, you're sort of maintaining that white and that grey, which is very coastal. Your influence?
Yeah, I think it was a combo of both, but initially we knew what we wanted to do. And I think that's a great thing about doing a knockdown rebuild as well, is that you actually get what you want, and rather than manipulating, the old property to fit in. Coastal feel was exactly what we wanted to do, and we thought we would go with real neutrals and then just try and bring in some colour, and bringing in, the outside into the in was really important as well.
GJ Garden have done a fantastic job. Is there any particular reason you chose a local builder versus someone from, I guess Northern Beaches is still Sydney, but the Sydney metropolitan area?
I think they just know the area really well, and they know how to build. I think particularly on sand, it gets a little bit difficult because it takes a little while for houses to settle. And I like I said, I think they just know the area, they know the people, they know the products, they know the quality of workmanship around the area, like the different types of trades to actually use.
Yeah, definitely. Local trades.
Exactly. Yeah. And also partly the fact that we were basically able to design the house that we wanted without just going strictly through a plan.
If you have a project that you think might suit our show, go to besthouses.com.au and send us some pics. Also, don't forget to like our Facebook page. Thanks for being part of the show, and I hope you found some beautiful ideas that you can use in your very own home. But until next time, we'll see you then.